So let's look at this problem. A point charge q of mass m released from point 0, 0 in presence of the electric field Ej cap and magnetic field Bk cap. Find the coordinates of the charge at time t. So there it is, this x-axis and the y-axis, and this is the charge particle q having mass m released at this point. So the electric force will be always constant, that is in the y-axis, that is QE. Due to that, say at start it will try to move in this direction, so the magnetic field is this way, B, as z-axis is this way. So V cross B is at start, magnetic force is in this direction, so it will deflect gradually, right? So while the charged particle is having a velocity v, at this time magnetic force is this way. So that's qvb. So resultant force is a vector sum of this qvb and qe. Okay. So let's find out the equations of motion of this. So let the velocity, we split it into these components Vx and Vy. There is no motion in the z-axis, that is for sure. Particle will move in the xy plane. So we can write Newton's law, m dvx dt times I cap plus m dvy dt times j cap is equal to this. First let us write the magnetic force. So that's q Vxi plus Vyj cross Bk cap plus the electric force Qe times J cap. So that's so I cross K is minus J. So that's Qe minus Q Vxb times J cap, and for this J cross K is I cap. So that's Q Vyb times I cap. So therefore, separately we can write for the x axis m dvx dt is equal to Q Vyb. This is for the x axis, and for the y axis we can write m dvy dt is equal to Qe minus qvx times b. Okay. Now out of these two equations we have to find out a way to somehow find the coordinates of the particle. Okay. So what we'll do, we will differentiate this expression. See, this I actually know it from before, that is why I can do it, else just by guessing it is difficult to solve this problem. So this dvx dt. Now we will substitute dvx dt from this equation here. Okay, so that is m d2vy dt2 equal to minus qb, and dvx dt is again qb by m times vy. So therefore this becomes minus qb by m times vy. Okay, now this equation looks very well known to us, because this type of equation we have dealt with in simple harmonic motion. In simple harmonic motion we had d2x dt2 is minus omega square x, then x will have a solution of this type, a sine omega t plus phi. This was in simple harmonic motion. So we can equate this case with that of simple harmonic motion. Here Vy will take the, or Vy will play the role of x, and qb by m of omega. So therefore we can conclude that Vy is of this form: A sine omega qb by m times t plus phi, right? So we have, this is a basic equation of Vy, and now we have to substitute the boundary conditions, right? If this is Vy, then we know that m dvy dt is how much? A qb by m cosine of qb by mt plus phi. So at time 0, at t equal to 0, m dvy by dt is equal to, the force is the electric force only, because at start, at time t equal to 0, velocity was 0. It's just started to move. So the entire force is qe. So m dvy dt is equal to qe. So let's see whether you can find out something from here. So we'll put here time 0, therefore A multiplied by qb by m into cos phi is equal to m. So this was m dvy dt, right? So there will be an m here. So there will be an m here, is equal to qe. Okay. So these m's have cancelled. So therefore A cos phi is equal to E by B. Now, okay. So somehow we have to find out this cos phi, right? Now how do you find out this cos phi? Now at t equal to 0, velocity is 0 and Vy is also 0. Therefore you'll put here 0, Vy is 0, A sine phi. So sine phi is 0. So one of the solutions is phi equal to 0. So we will substitute here. A is this, cos 0 is 1. So A is equal to E by B. So A is equal to E by B and this phi is equal to 0. So we have found out actually Vy as E by B sine of qb by m times t. So this is the value of Vy, the velocity along y-axis. Now we have to find Vx. Let's find out the equations. Yeah, there I think we can find something out of it, right? Vx from here, this equation, right? So we have found out Vy. So this equation is there with us. We can make use of this. So dvy dt. So m dvy dt is equal to m into E by B, again qb by m cos qb by m times t. Now what else? Yeah, that is m dvy dt. Now this you have to put equal to qe minus qvx b. Okay, so this is the equation. So from here this m and this m will cancel, b and b will cancel, so qe. So here what you get? qvx times b equal to qe 1 minus cosine qb by m times t. Here q will cancel, so vx equal to E by b 1 minus cosine qb by mt. Okay, so we'll write it again. It's okay, it's there already. So this is Vy, velocity along y-axis, and this is Vx, velocity along x-axis. Now this thing reminds us of the cycloid. See, what we can do is that we can integrate it. There is no harm in it. So we can do that actually. So we can substitute here dy dt, and we can substitute here dx dt. Obviously we can find out this x and y in terms of time. So at start, obviously x and y both are equal to 0, so we can find that out. So dx dt equal to e by b into 1 minus cosine qb by m times t. So dx equal to e by b times dt minus cosine qb by mt times dt. So there it is 0 0 t 0 to x. So here you get x equal to e by b t minus, here you get m by qb, and then sine qb by m times t. So that is the x coordinate, and we can find out the y coordinate. Dy by dt equal to this e by b sine qb by mt implies dy equal to e by b sine qb by mt times dt. So there 0 to t, and here also 0 to y. So y is equal to e by b, here sine, so you get a minus sign. So there you get qb, there you get m, so there you get cosine. Okay, so cosine qb t by m minus cosine 0, that's 1. So here you get em by qb square multiplied by 1 minus cosine qb t by m. So that is not an issue. Once you find out Vx and Vy, you can find out x and y. But here we will just remember what we have learned last year in rotational mechanics. We have learned about the cycloid. And what is a cycloid? Cycloid is actually locus. It's a locus of a point on circumference of a ring or disc, whatever, ring or disc, rolling without slipping. Rolling without slipping on ground. There it was. Okay. So let us take this point P. Now this point P, so say it started from here at time t equal to 0. So this point P was here at time t equal to 0. This is the situation at time t. So this has moved this much angle, omega t. So now we will calculate velocity of this point P. this is the x and the y axis in terms of angular speed omega, and the radius of the ring or the disk is r. Okay, and this is the center. So velocity of point P is velocity of P as seen from C plus velocity of C, and velocity of C is how much? R omega multiplied by I cap, and velocity of P multiplied by C is R omega. Okay. This makes 90 degree, and see how much will be this angle. This is omega t, this is also omega t, this is 90 minus omega t. So what about this component? R omega, this is sine omega t. R omega sine omega t, this is the cos component. R omega cos omega t. So this P with respect to C is minus R omega cosine omega t times I cap plus R omega sine omega t times j cap. So velocity of the point P after a time t. Time t means this point. The P point has started from here at time t equal to 0. Remember that. So this was Vc. We add Vc with this Vp with respect to C. So that is the I component is R omega 1 minus cosine omega t times I cap plus R omega sine omega t times j cap. Now if you consider this equation, this is velocity of point P on the cycloid, and if you recall what we have got here, what we have got in this page, just Vx and Vy, we'll just write that below here, and we'll combine the velocity of the charge here, velocity of charge q v equal to Vx I cap plus Vy j cap. So E by B 1 minus cosine qb by mt times I cap plus E by B sine qb by m times t j cap. So if we compare these two equations, then what will you get? Omega is, see, that is for sure that if you compare these two equations, it is absolutely sure that the motion of this particle on the circumference of this disk is exactly equal to the, or it is exactly similar to the motion of the point charge. So we can equate this. E by B is R omega and QB by M is omega. Okay, so therefore what is R? E by B divided by omega M. So R equal to ME by QB square. Now if I search what I have derived actually for the y coordinate, see, that's the y coordinate, this is the y coordinate, see, and see what is the maximum value of the y coordinate from this equation. This is y equal to this, the maximum value of the y coordinate when this becomes minus 1, so twice of this thing, twice m square. So y max is equal to twice me by qb square. And in the cycloid, the maximum value of the y coordinate is nothing but the diameter. Because what happens in case of a cycloid is this. So these are the various positions of the disc you are rolling. That will be enough, I think. So this is at time t equal to 0. There particle p, and gradually it will be here, then here, then here, then here, and then also again here. So this is the path. This is the path followed by the particle on the circumference of the disc or the ring. Now this is the radius of the disc. So the maximum value of the y coordinate, this is y axis and this one is the x axis. The maximum value of the y coordinate happens to be 2r. And this is exactly the path followed by the point charge. Here the point charge q is released here, and this will be the path of the point charge. Exactly, it is a cycloid. And you know, these all we have equated.